take a minute and look at how to write a resume. This is a PowerPoint is from Purdue University. It's going to talk about what a resume is, the general guidelines, research that you need to do before completing a resume, and extra tips in a cover letter. So a resume is a personal summary of your professional history and qualifications. It includes anything a person wants to express about themselves as far as their career goals, education, experience, activities, and honors. These are the general guidelines for the length. It should be 1 page typed, the font, and the paper that should be used. You need to do research to find out about the general job information and qualifications that you would need for a particular job that you are seeking. And you could go to, maybe it's a preschool, you can go to that preschool or their website to find out more information about the qualifications that you would need. Make sure you really look at the job description so that you are able to show that you are qualified for this particular position. This is a general layout of a resume, the different sections at the top. You would have your name, then the objectives would be the job that you are pursuing, contact information, education, experience, honors, and activities, and we'll look at this more closely. This is the information you should include in your contact information. This is an example here. This particular person has a campus address and then a permanent address. Maybe you're still in school applying for the job, but make sure a permanent address is there, email, and the best number where you can be reached. They can contact you. There are 2 different approaches here, and you need to decide, depending on how long or how much information is in your resume, whether you want to be brief or more detailed. And some instances you should be more detailed, and we'll look at them here. So you need to decide which approach is best. These are very brief approach. For example, you may say to obtain a summer internship in sales marketing at Owens Corning. That's very brief. A full-time position as a system analyst, or a summer internship as a project engineer. These are very brief, and we'll look at more detailed of the same positions here. And here they are in more detail. And you can read those. This PowerPoint is also in Moodle, so you can look at it and go through it at your own pace. You want to begin with your education. You want to start with the most recent place where you went to school. So your university, in your case, may be Blue Ridge Community College. You want to include minors, majors, and minors, any minors, or if your GPA is something you can include. If your GPA is above a 3.0 or higher, that's for you to decide. But remember, you're trying to sell yourself, so if your GPA is not that great, you probably don't want to include it, and that's okay. And then the date of program completion, and we'll look at some examples here. This person had their Bachelor's of Science in Management. Notice over to the right, it shows you the date of completion there. The school, and then they did include their GPA. Include positions you have held which are related in some way to the job you're seeking. This is part of your work experience. This can be both paid and volunteer. Don't forget those volunteer hours, and that's why all of your EDU, most of your EDU courses, you are out in the community, so you should have volunteer experience to include. Be creative with this section of your resume. Describe and emphasize your experiences in the most relevant possible, and you should keep looking back at that job description, and this is going to help you in this job. This person was a server. Notice to the right, from May 2003 to June 2006. It says where they had this job and the what they did in the job description. from the swim coach. Here are some more examples here for you. So they include the job description and hopefully include something in there that maybe would apply to the job they're seeking, but may not, and that's okay. Here's an action verb list, and there is a resource here. You can go find out more information. But action phrases will help you avoid being too brief and from understanding your qualifications. For example, before would be planned activities. How can you be more detailed in just planned activities? There's so many activities. Well, more detailed would be you planned activities and crafts activities for preschool age children. So that would be more specific. Activities, honors, and volunteer experience. Here's a list of someone's. You want to include relevant activities, honors, and volunteer experiences that you have had. And then some extra tips here. Of course, your ultimate goal is to get an interview. When it talks about white space, remember, an employer is only going to take about 15 seconds to glance at a resume and decide whether they want to continue looking at it. So that's why it's so important that you use nice paper, that you follow the guidelines for which font to use. And please make sure you have someone read your resume for grammatical or spelling for errors. This is very important because if there are misspelled words, that's going to say something to that employer. So when they talk about white space, you want to fill up that paper. Put as much information, be descriptive in previous jobs that you've had or anything that would help you get an interview. That's your ultimate goal. So that's what they talk about, white space. Fill up that one-page typed resume so it doesn't look scarce, like there's not a whole lot there. This is more resources for you to use when doing a resume. And remember also, we did not talk about it here as a cover letter. You can include a cover letter which has a lot of the information in your resume, but it is just a letter saying, I'm seeking employment in your child care facility, wherever it may be. I'm a graduate from Blue Ridge Community College, which is an accredited program, and something about the position you're applying for and why you are qualified for that position. And then tell them that you look forward to hearing from them and you welcome an interview. So that is a resume, and please let us know if you have any questions.